Welcome to my iPhone SE 2020 review. I've been using the IC for about 2 weeks now, and I gotta tell you guys, coming from the 11 Pro Max, this is like a baby. So this is the 11 Pro Max compared to the iPhone SE 2020. This is a 4.7-inch display, a little higher than 720p. It also has a chin and forehead, as you guys can see, and this, the 11 Pro Max Face ID, a 5.5-inch display. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the best deals in tech. You get an insanely fast processor, the A13 Bionic chip. You get a fantastic camera, which, by the way, you can turn the SE 2020 camera into the ultra wide, so you don't have to get the iPhone 11 just to get the ultra wide angle lens. You could just put this accessory on. I made a video talking about this. You're getting a good camera. It records up to 4K 60 frames per second. You know you're going to get the iOS updates years to come. I'm not sure what time frame that's going to be. Maybe 6 years or 5 years. I'm not sure how Apple's going to do it. At $399, this is a bargain. But there's some gripes about the SE that kind of bothers me a little bit, but not too much. There's just some nitpick gripes that I just want to discuss with you guys. First things first. There's no Plus variant. Now, this is just the 4.7-inch model of the iPhone 8, but just put in with the A13 chip. But I wish Apple would have made a SE Plus model. So especially who's coming from the iPhone 8 Plus, 7 Plus, this is like a downgrade because the screen size is smaller and the battery milliamps is smaller too as well. And if you're someone like me, you're coming from a big phone, you don't want to go back to a smaller phone. The keyboard is going to feel a little bit more cramped. It's going to be less content to view on Instagram. Even with the 11 Pro, you got a brighter display. So yeah, as you guys can see more of the image. It's just bigger, it's better. And I got to tell you guys, you know, once you go big, it's hard to go back to small again. And yeah, and having that chin and bezels, we've been seeing this since 2014. And yeah, it's a dated design, but you have flagship specs. iOS 14 is coming out, well, the beta, June 22nd. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new on it, if you guys want to see a video on that. Overall, it's just the design that really gets me. I keep on doing this because I'm so used to activating the control center by going on the top right. But here on the classic iPhone, you guys swipe up. But all in all, if you're coming from a classic iPhone like the iPhone 6, iPhone 5 maybe, SE first generation, iPhone 7, this is going to feel right at home. You know, this is going to feel exactly the same, but just faster, because there's some people out there who can't stand the notch. You know, that's why I have an all black wallpaper, because this has an, you know, AMOLED, OLED. It hides everything, hides a notch. It just makes things a little bit more neater. But you got people out there who just can't stand Face ID, who can't stand big phones. This is the phone for you. You don't want to transition all the way, but you want the minor upgrades like the processor and the camera. The back of the phone, all glass back. There's no frosted here whatsoever. But yeah, you got to be careful with the glass back because that will crack. But that also brings wireless charge, which honestly, I don't even use the lightning port anymore. Nowadays, I just use wireless charge. I appreciate the anodized aluminum or aluminium on the side. You know, I think that's going to hold up really well. Because one thing with the steel iPhones, I feel like that scratches a little easy. But surprisingly, on my 11 Pro Max, it hasn't been scratching. I mean, I'm rocking out with a case, but sometimes I take it off every now and then. But the midnight green iPhone doesn't really scratch too much. But if you get a silver iPhone 10 style, you know, iPhone, like the iPhone 11 Pro in silver or 11 Pro Max in silver, you'll notice like the scratches are crazy. But this, you have nothing to really worry about except for that glass back and the glass front. And speaking of glass and durability, one of my issues of the SE is just the fact of scratches. Now, let me take a microfiber clean close so you guys can see these scratches a little bit more thoroughly. So if you look at it really closely, you're gonna see some scratches. I see some scratches clear as day. When the screen is on, you're not even gonna notice it. It's gonna look brand new. But holding it over to the light, you're gonna see those scratches. So I highly encourage you guys to get a glass screen protector or a screen protector, because you will see those scratches. And I don't know what's going on with Apple with their screens. With the 11 Pro Max, that was an issue too, where it was just heavily scratched, but thankfully I put a glass screen protector on. But a lot of people are reporting that, they're calling it Scratchgate. But yeah, it wasn't like that back in the days. I don't know why it's scratching so easily now. It's a classic iPhone that you know and love. You know, you can't beat the classic iPhone, the home button. Since this is just a non-plus model, this only has one lens. So when you want to zoom into objects, you're going to use the digital zoom. You're not going to be zooming optically. You don't have no ultra wide angle lens, but if you install this module, you could be able to add, you know, ultra wide capabilities. I took some pictures. I did a review on this. Make sure you guys watch it. I'll throw a link in the description. You know, this does have 100% battery health, which is definitely a good thing, but during my testing of the iPhone 10 versus this wasn't really all that great. And I feel like longevity throughout years, when the battery degrades, your phone battery's health is going to be lower and weaker, and it's not going to last as long. You just take care of your phone. Try not to have your phone brightness all the way max. Try to keep your phone away from heat just to maintain that 100% battery health. You want to just keep your iPhone cool as you can. Even though this is an old school iPhone design, the camera still packs a punch. Trust me. Look at these pictures right here. These are pro quality photos here. And I'll argue the 11 Pro Max, you know, it looks similar, but it still looks good. You don't have night mode whatsoever, so taking pictures at night or in dark environments, this is not going to come out good. I'm curious to see what Google is going to do with the Pixel 4a. Comparing that to the iPhone SE, that's going to be a really good comparison. And yeah, the only thing I miss was just night mode. And I think night mode makes literally a day and night difference. We're going through a midlife crisis here. We're going through a pandemic. And having a fingerprint scanner is definitely super convenient. Especially now you have to wear a mask anywhere you go. Having a fingerprint scanner, it just works every single time. No matter what you do or whatever the situation is, this is a reliable fingerprint scanner. And right now with Face ID, you gotta type in the passcode. That is pretty whack right now. I love Face ID, and I think it is better than Touch ID. But for right now, what's going on, Touch ID is the winner. And oh yeah, this phone is water resistant, but it's not waterproof. So keep that in mind. Alright, here's a video I'm just going to showcase max brightness, max everything. I'm going to turn off True Tone and max volume just to get an idea. One of my favorite videos, definitely. Yeah, the speaker sounds good, and you can clearly see the pictures, nice and clear. But you do have that swipe keyboard, so you can easily type things. I didn't mean to, I meant to type in Instagram. There we go. Now, in terms of colors, I prefer the product red one. That's my favorite, but you guys be the judge. The white one is probably my runner-up, and last place is the black one. All the colors are good. You're doing a good cause by getting the product red Apple device, and I think, in my opinion, it looks the best. It's funny, like even holding it in my hand, it's comfortable. I can reach the bottom of the icons, or the dock I should say. Even in my pocket, it doesn't feel too big to the point where I feel like it's gonna slip out. You know, this is a very compact iPhone, and it has a lot of power going for it. You know, it's gonna be very, very reliable throughout years, and that's one of the reasons why people just go with Apple. And maybe you just want to get into the Apple ecosystem, but you don't want to spend $1,000 or $700. This is a great price tag. But for the most part, this is just a classic iPhone. Like, it's really not that much to say about it. If you've been using iPhones for years, you're gonna feel right at home with this one. Like, here I got the flashlight, here I got the camera. I mean, here you can still do it like this, but I mean, activating control center like this, I don't know, it's totally different. I feel like I'm going back in time. It's like a time machine going back to high school when the iPhone 6 came out and everybody was hyping this design up. It kind of feel like back in the days a little bit, but you know, a little bit more modern, you know, with the iPhone 8. You know, when the 6 came out, I didn't get the 7, and of course I skipped the 8. I went straight to the 10. You know, I went from the 6 to the 10, and then from the 10 to the 11 Pro. If you have an iPhone 6s, 6, 7, or even 8, I think this is a good upgrade only if you are going to consider the same dated design. If you love having a home button, you love the chin and the forehead, then yeah, I think this is going to be an upgrade for you. But if you want something new, you want memojis, animojis, Face ID, you want the bells and whistles, you want that edge-to-edge display, obviously this is not for you. But, you know, if you want a classic iPhone, you don't care about all that stuff, you care about saving money, $399, that's a great price to pay for an iPhone. This is a steal. You know what's funny? Apple sells wheels for $700, and you could buy an iPhone SE for $399. Like, that's just insane. That's crazy. So yeah, that pretty much concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, I'd appreciate it with a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on, and comment down below what you guys think about the iPhone SE 2020. Other than that, it's your boy Pops, and I'm out. Stay safe, stay simple, stay clean. Deuces.